Hello there everybody and welcome into the Matt the Grape channel. Today's video is going to be all about villagers. We're going to talk about 9 facts that I bet that you never knew about Minecraft villagers. And we're going to go ahead and start things off with villagers staring. Have you ever noticed that villagers stare at you a lot? Well, this is actually built into the game. It's built into the game for villagers to stare. They'll stare at any player who goes by them or stares at them. And they can actually keep staring indefinitely unless they're attacked. Now we're going to talk about gossiping. Villagers will actually retain memories of things that you do to them, and they can pass those memories along to other villagers, and this will affect your reputation. Now the reputation, which is also called popularity, will affect your trading prices and iron golem hostility, and villagers will gossip at bell time, or gathering time, which happens about, I'd say, 3/4 of the way through the day. The reputation constantly changes based on your actions, and the value of the gossips decays over time and as it's passed along from villager to villager. Here's a table showing you about some of the actions that can affect the gossips that are passed between villagers. The decay is how much is gone after 20 minutes. The share penalty is how much the gossip is reduced after it's shared with another villager. And you can multiply gossip values by the reputation multiplier to get your total reputation throughout the village. To get your total reputation for that villager. Now let's talk about villager schedules. Did you know that villagers actually have a schedule that they follow throughout the day? Well, they actually do, and it will change depending on their age and their employment status. Each villager has a different goal at a certain point throughout the day. Now there's 4 main goals. The first one is working. This is when villagers will go to their workstations and will recharge their trades, which happens up to 2 times per day. There's also wandering. Wandering is when villagers will walk to a random block and stand there for a random time and then move on to another random block, and that repeats over and over again during the wandering period. Next up we have gathering. Gathering is when villagers will go to the bell and gossip, as well as possible breeding. Number 4 is playing. This is when baby villagers only, this is for baby villagers, may run around or jump on beds, and they jump on beds in Java Edition, but they'll run around in Bedrock or Java Edition. And lastly, villagers will return home before night to sleep. Did you know that villagers have inventory slots? Well, they actually do. Villagers will pick up crops that are within their pickup range. Something a little more interesting is that villagers also have armor slots, and you can actually equip them with armor using a dispenser. However, the armor is not actually displayed, but the effect is still there. Now we're going to talk about a feature that is exclusive to Bedrock Edition, and this is called Preferred Path. Villagers will try to follow a path with the least block cost, and different blocks will have different costs for the villagers. For example, this grass or dirt path over here has a 0 block cost. This cobblestone has 1 block cost, and then all of your job site blocks, well, they have a block cost of 50. By the way, most other blocks also fall into the block cost of 1 category. Did you know that villagers panic during raids or zombie sieges? Well, villagers will actually display panic by having water particles and shaking. Villagers will panic when they see a mob that is hostile towards villagers. In Java Edition, they'll just run away frantically and might hide in houses, whereas in Bedrock Edition, they'll actually go into houses and make sure to stay around a bed. So I'm going to place my villager down in this area here, and I'm going to go ahead and place a zombie down in this area over here. Now, right now he doesn't look too scared, but as soon as I break this block, he's going to run away just like that. Zombie will start coming after him. Of course, he's going to burn up in the daylight. But the villager will continue running away from the zombie, unless, I guess, he sees a job site. But he will continue to run away from the zombie. So we have another villager here, until eventually the zombie burns up and dies. So we're just going to leave them over there. Now let's talk a little bit more about farmer villagers. Farmer villagers actually have a couple of special characteristics that you might not have known about. Farmer villagers will tend crops within villages and will also do so if they are far away outside of a village. Farmers will search for crops within a 19 by 3 by 19 area. So that's this cobblestone area I have here. See the 4 corners there. That's the radius that farmer villagers will search for crops in. They will also plant crops on empty farmland, which allows them to be used in automatic farms. There are a lot of really creative ways to use farming villagers for automatic farms out there. They'll also pick up bone meal and will use it on their own crops. That's something really interesting. Villagers will also share food with each other if they have extra food and the other villager doesn't have enough. Now, I'm sure that you've seen these green villagers throughout your explorations in Minecraft, and this villager is called a Nitwit villager. They cannot be employed, trade, or gather around bells for gossiping. As you see, if I try and right-click on him, he'll just shake his head because he can't trade. In Java Edition, Nitwits can only be spawned when a village is created, but however, in Bedrock Edition, each baby villager has a 10% chance to become a Nitwit. Now, Nitwit villagers also have a different time schedule from other villagers. They will wake up and go to sleep 2,000 ticks, or about 100 seconds, after other villagers. And now we're going to move on to the very last, number 9 fact that I bet you never knew about villagers, and this one is going to be about trading prices. There are actually 3 factors that will affect trade prices for villagers. Some items that are sold by villagers will be more affected by these factors than others. Some items that are more affected include diamond items, enchanted books, treasure maps, and saddles. However, most other items are affected a little bit less. Now, here are the 3 things. The first one is trade sold out. Now, items will be sold out if they're traded too much. When the trade is resupplied, then there will be a price increase because there's, of course, higher demand. Villagers want to, of course, profit off of all that. Hero of the Village is an effect that you get from defeating a raid, and this will lower the trade prices for a short period of time after the raid for the targeted player. And then we have reputation/popularity. We talked about this before whenever we talked about gossiping. And the reputation of the player with the villager in question will affect the trade prices as well. And remember, this is due to gossiping and actions that you take against other villagers. So that means that even if you do something to one villager, it can actually affect the trade prices of another villager by gossip. And that is all for the 9 facts that I bet that you never knew about Minecraft villagers. Make sure to drop a comment below what fact was the most surprising and what fact you already knew. Make sure to like and subscribe for future videos. Make sure to check out Reddit, Discord, Twitter, and Patreon links in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.